Hi everyone, thank you for joining today. Welcome to another MDO webinar. I'm really excited to talk about our key topic today, which is Kai. That is our MDO's agentic AI on the MDO platform. And we want to go through today what we're bringing in Kai, what we're envisioning Kai would do for you and help you improve your data quality, improve your governance, improving mostly understanding what you have in your data and what is actually on the platform and more, because data just doesn't live only in your master data, but rather right across all the platforms that you have. So we're really keen to make MDO govern your master data, but then from there start expanding your horizons, and so then you can actually get access or get insights into data right across your platforms, whether that's data lake, your SQL databases, or MDO. Right. So Kai, what we'll talk about in a little bit more detail is how we're going to do that, what that looks like, and how do we easily govern your data on the platform with roles and policies driven out of AI. So with that, we're gonna jump right into the webinar itself. All right. Okay, so first, in today's agenda, I want to we'll go through the Kai knowledge base. So that's something already in Kai. And we're going to expand that a little bit more. Because at the moment you can ask Kai what it can do, how it can help you navigate through the platform, how to use the platform. But we'll expand that a little bit more so then you can understand what are your rules? What is it doing? What data is it interacting with? And of course, then the policies that you have applied onto the platform, both from a knowledge perspective, but also from an agentic perspective. The next item that we'll go through is the policy generator. Now, the question around policy is if you have a certain set of rules or a certain set of compliance rules that you have that you must apply to your master data, how would you do that, or how would you describe it? So the goal for Kai is to understand what you are already having in your systems, or you already have defined within your policies. Maybe you have a policy document, maybe you have GDPR compliance, maybe you have any sort of business sensitive compliance documents that you have. Translating that into actual hard governance rules and policies is really important, because you want to make sure that your data is compliant. Well, how would you do that? You'll put that through our policy generator, and then Kai will be able to help you generate the relevant business rules across your master data governance. But of course, the next step to that is obviously connecting it to the rest of your data infrastructure. Our next then we'll go through document-based enrichment. So this is more in line with unstructured data, right? So whether you have a Word document, a PDF, a design document, a CAD drawing even, right? What we're looking to do is allow Kai to read that and then ingest that from different points, or I guess different data points or ingestion points, whether that comes from your engineer, your warehouse manager, or really in any source, and then being able to automatically process that against your existing data set, and then generating governance based on the data that's ingested. So doing that in a frictionless manner is what we're looking for, because we've seen a lot of customers and a lot of our users manually transferring data from an actual document into either some sort of governance platform, and we want to remove that completely. So that's a very exciting part for us. Uh, Data insights is we're looking at how do we go about allowing or lowering the barrier to our users, especially in the management and senior management, but also just in general of all of our users on extracting and understanding that data that you have, right? So we understand in real life data in natural language, talking vernacular type of way, right? Like, well, uh, but when you're looking at Kai, or when you're looking at an MDO platform, our MDO platform, or really any platform as such, the data is structured. So basically, having Kai being able to understand the structured data that we already have, and then naturalizing it and making it understandable and searchable and displayable, let's say, and allow our users to naturally interact with it. That data is what we're looking for. And then the data insights page, which we're referring to, is not so much uh, you can interact and you can ask the data, but the next step we want to take is to have Kai proactively talk back to our users, right? So what we call that a little bit is internally is uh, we want our users to start talking to the data. We want our users to think of the data as a living, well, it is living because your data is always changing, always morphing. So it's very organic. So we want our data and our Kai insights to actually tell our users or respond back to our users and tell them, hey, what do you need to look at today? If I have a particular issue or if there's a data issue on my platform, I want Kai to actually tell me that um, you should look at this, because when you're looking across millions and millions and millions of rows or records of data, how do you know there's a particular problem at what point and what needs your attention? Otherwise, everything, as they say, if everything is urgent, nothing is urgent, right? And so what we want to give our users in our data insights page or data insights section is your data telling you back, hey, hi, you need to pay attention here, and Kai will basically help you with that. Yeah, let's go to the next part now. So this is how we envision Kai changing how you would interact with your data now. What we've had before is forms. What we have is widgets and graphs, which you can see. That isn't going away, but what we're seeing is it's dynamic, right? Whether it's a rule, whether it's a widget, whether it's a piece of data, all of this information is actually dynamic and in real time, because data is always changing, as we just mentioned. But how do you interact with it is different. It is a two-way relationship between the data telling you something is happening or something is wrong or something is right for that matter, and vice versa, you telling or you controlling and governing the data that is coming in. So things like maybe your policies change. So you may ask it and say, does this comply with my current policy? Should this rule really be there? Like, what is this rule trying to do? Or actually it goes up and it goes and does something on your behalf, right? Like this policy is here. Have you validated against the rules? Are there any gaps? So these questions, you really shouldn't need to look at a policy on one hand and then looking at the rules on the other hand and try to work out where the gap is. I can do that for you, and we believe that's what that our system, or we're building the system so that you can interact with it in that natural manner, as if AI is already, or MDO is the expert system. AI is already the expert and it knows the details. What you need to do is being able to dictate and validate that those details are there. And of course, lastly, it's a big question: what is actually happening with your data? And that's a more all-catching, all-encompassing question, right? If my data quality is reducing, what's actually happening? Is it reducing? Why? In where? And should I then build a policy around that? If I build a policy around that, what sort of rules, etc., etc. So this is how we see Kai dynamically interacting and growing organically with you. And as Kai learn how you work, you get the insights or the right, let's say, flag or points, inflection points, which you can then interact and get the right data at the right time. With that, what we'd like to do now is I'm going to hand over to our Akshay, who's our product manager, and he's going to go through on each point in a little bit more details on how we're actually envisioning that we will achieve that. Over to you, Akshay.
Yep, thanks, Kai. Cool. Okay. From this detailed process, detailed explanation which Hai has given, that how, yes, how we are envisioning Kai, how like in day-to-day processes, AI is something which people are utilizing for working through their day-to-day processes, be it for even writing small queries, or be it gathering the information, or preparing documentations. So that is the same process that users would want to have into their systems as well. Now, when you're working with any AI tool, the first process is basically getting that information, understanding what I'm trying to work on, or the idea which I'm trying to work on, and get into the details of it. Now, in any SaaS tool which we use, there's a lot of data. Now, the problem is, how do we analyze that data? How do we extract that information and get it out quickly, generate output reports, or get the actioning next level of actions done through the system? How that can be done in a quick and efficient manner. Yes, we have reports. Yes, we have option to filter the data. Yes, we have different views which we can create, but all of them is step-by-step progression to get the information out. What Kai brings into the picture now with these five features which we have been which we talk about is how these are these waves of features are designed to help the users. And these are the conversations which are pretty much happening throughout the organizations. People have been talking about data, clean data, getting that information quickly, and that's where exactly the points which you are targeting, the key areas which you are targeting. And that's where we start with our, first of all, the knowledge-based one. So this is kind of a two-way process. So we already have an MDO, which we call as our help agent, which provides you the getting the information based on the MDO help center, where it helps you in defining what a business rule is, how you can define business rule, what is a data set, and the metadata definitions, and all of that coming into the picture. The enhancement into this process we are bringing is that when the organization can upload their policy documents, their process documents, and these documents can be utilized when as a business user, I'm coming into the system. I want to create a new record, be it a material or an equipment, and suddenly I see an error coming in, which has been defined based on my policies, based on the organization's ways of working. But I need to understand what this error is. What are my values which based on this particular rule should be added to this particular record? And that's where the Kai knowledge base comes in. The organization or the admins can upload their different documents, spreadsheet, PDFs, which has all the end-to-end process flows, specific validations, or how their end-to-end journey works. And when the user is working on those and on creating of records, Kai basically reads these documents. So one is that MDO Help Center, which brings all the information regarding MDO, from configurational processes to end-to-end journey. And then over that, we have the company's standard documents or the process documents from an organization's perspective. Combine all of them together, It gives the power to the user to understand end-to-end journey, that why these particular each validation are coming to me, what is the correct value for this specific type of rule, why this policy was implemented. So based on that document, the system provides you the information that yes, you have uploaded this document. It belongs to a specific for vendor. This is the policy which we utilize, and based on this, the your different type of errors are coming, and what is the correct value for fixing. So the system is not just giving you the errors; it's also helping you understand that why this error came based on your company's policies. Furthermore, helping you to providing you the information of what is the correct value based on this particular record or the context you are working on. So there's no conflicts or hidden processes that are happening in the background and the user is not aware of it. So we are basically providing the information and helping the users also to understand their processes by themselves, instead of talking to their execs or talking to their admins and understanding why the rules have been implemented. Kai comes in for the users to answer these queries. So that's the knowledge-based process, which helps you in getting all the information regarding MDO, regarding your processes, ways of working. Next is the policy generator, and this is a interesting one. This comes into the picture in MDO. Governance is and data quality is our key area which we focus on, helping the users to cleanse their data, help them to maintain a good quality of their end-to-end day-to-day processes. Now, for this, there's a specific set of rules which we define. And yes, as we move with the processes, the rules changes or the new rules keeps on getting added. That's where we have to go back to the admins or the BAU teams for getting those rules defined, or trying to work through updating those rules, adding them to the flows and everything, which is a process. Yes, it is all configurable as of now, but it is something which is dependent on the admins and a particular process to run through it. Now, the policy generator brings in simplifies this whole problem, just not for the admins, but for the end users as well. Now, from an admin perspective, you can upload your relevant validation logics and the relevant DQ rule documentations into any of the masters which you are working on. So Kai runs on the context driven. Like if I'm working on equipment master, Kai would have the context that yes, this file which has been uploaded contains rules relevant to equipment, or if in material master, then relevant to material master. Kai will analyze this whole document and identify what different type of rules can be formed through this, and suggest you the different, whether it's a DQ rule, whether it's a validation, whether it's a dependency or a default condition. Different categories of rules are provided through Kai. And once on the user confirms, those rules are automatically created in the system as business rules. And it gives you the information of even linking them to the particular flows or particular processes. So that's one part of the process, that it simplifies the whole rule creation and rule generation journey of the admins and the stewards. The second part is when a user is running, they are on a regular basis. They are creating new records. They are changing the data, and they feel like there should be a particular validation for checking the vendor name or validating the ABN is correct or not. These type of checks, when in some cases they have to go to the source system and then validate this information manually, come back to the target system and then populate all this information. That's where the process comes in, that yes, this is something which we are doing on regular basis. User can type it in a plain language and submit their ideas, which is basically submit their rules, and the admin, which goes for a review to the admin, and if confirmed, that becomes, the admins can add that as a new rule into the system. So it's not just working with the information or the process defined for the user. It gives to the power to the business users as well to suggest something. Even after they are running through a process and they identify a gap, they can suggest a rule for this, for helping increase the quality of the system. That it gives power to the both for easier configuration of the rules and linkage to the flows, plus the power to the users to suggest better ways of working in their end-to-end processes. That's where the policy generator comes in. The third area, which is the enrichment process. Now, this does not helps us with filling of the information, but even retrieving the data from web as well. So it works with two processes. Like I am uploading a specific document which has my ABN details, address details, or GST information, and I can upload those documents. And Kai will go through all of those documents, map to the relevant fields, and populate the required fields on your form. So it gives you a full view that you are working with Kai, providing your documents, uploading those documents, running, creating a particular equipment record. You gave it 5 different documents to run through and enrich your form. You can move on to some other area, like you have to create a material. You can go into that area, start working on your material creation process as well, provide the documents, and run simultaneously 2 different processes for enriching your data. So one is document based. Yes, with the document, what fields are mapping, Kai provides you all the information that which particular field, what value has been identified from which particular file, or the attached document, the information came in. The second process of this is the taxonomy or the classification enrichment process. This is where Kai even goes to the web as well. So based on the manufacturer and part number provided, Kai goes to web, identify your class and the required characteristics, bring in all the information back into the system, shows it to the user, and helps them in enriching the data, generating the short and long description. So that's where the enrichment with the web process comes in. So the enrichment, this whole enrichment process basically runs in 2 parts. One is document upload. You can upload any document and fill in your form. Second is do a web search and enhance or enrich your data furthermore. Here are the 2 approaches, or the 2 processes you can utilize Kai for doing this. Um, so this reduces the the problem statement for the users, where they have to go through a particular PDF or an document file, analyze all the information, and then populate the form. That whole analysis time which the users have to put in, that's where Kai comes in and helps you out and analyzing and run all of this process in background while you can continue working on other activities. And once the whole enrichment is done, Kai informs you that this process is complete, and then you can come back into the system, review it, and do the final approval for submission. So it basically reduces your end-to-end process for creating any record or for enriching the data. Um, the next one, this is how basically the point which we are highlighting with Hi as well, that how MD or Kai within MDO helps you in identifying the information, getting your data. So the earlier process which we are working on from enrichment or from policy generator is something which is on the governance process, that how it helps the end user in their day-to-day processes, how it helps in reducing their time when they're creating or changing the data, how it can run in the background to give you additional time to work on other things. Basically reducing your time to in the end-to-end processes, and giving and improving the performance of the user. Now this is the inside part. It comes onto the process where Kai helps you in just in analyzing the information. It gives you the insights of your data, that you want to see that how many records are pending for my approval. Instead of going through the task section, applying the filters and analyzing the data, Kai quickly, you just ask the question and Kai responds back to you with all the information that these are the 10 tasks which are pending for 15 days. Or you want to look for a particular record, that how many records I have for this particular plant, in how many, what is the function location hierarchy for this particular function location. These type of quick questions which you can work it out with Kai and get all this information. And that's what basically leads further into the process of Kai Insights page. So yes, I'm putting my queries, I'm extracting my data, I'm looking for that how many different type of bearing ball, SKF bearing ball data I have. Now it gives you the information, and from there user can basically use the steward and the insight agent together to get the information and utilize the Kai request agent for doing the changes as well. So all of this in the background, while working from creating a record to changing a record to analyzing, all of this basically Kai works as one piece for the users to get all the information. I start with the process where I define the set of records where the problems which have been pending for last 15-20 days. And based on that, it gives me list of records. As an approver, I can view those records, send or mark them sent for corrections, or approve those records. Kai can help you navigate to that particular section with the filtered data, or help you in context-driven getting the information for a particular page, like in the task, or even generating reports. And that's where the data insight, agentic insight comes in. So one is asking the questions and getting the information, and second is running your end-to-end processes, generating a trend out of it, generating the KPI reports or dashboards out of it. So I want to, on a regular basis, I'm someone who works on the data cleansing processes as a steward. I want to see on weekly basis how much my data is improving, where the data quality is failing, that type of information. But I don't want to query it on everyday basis or a weekly basis. So that's where the insight page comes in. As a user, I can query my data within the system, and I can use Kai just not to query, even to create these query outputs as widgets, as your table outputs, as your graphical outputs, and pin them in my view as a insight dashboard for myself. So there's no admin driven or steward driven configuration process which I need to define a dashboard. As a user, what I'm working on daily basis is something what I want to see create on daily basis. And based on the user's requirement, based on the user's queries, they create their own pages, own dashboards, own widgets, and utilize that for running their day-to-day scenarios, for identifying the changes, or identifying the trends over a monthly or a yearly basis. And these dashboards is not just for a single user. Yes, you can create your own, and you can share it with other people as well within your organization, that this is the information I'm using. You are working on the same role and same processes. So the users can exchange with the widgets and utilize the same output. So that's how these all the end-to-end features, these 5 Kai improvements, work together from helping you filling up the information quickly, helping you understand your processes based on your policies, or org level documents, helping you enriching the data from your file-based processes or from web-based processes, helping the user to get into the details of each and every data set or each and every processes without jumping into different tables, without different data set views, and getting all of that consolidated information from one place. Basically, Kai becomes your place where you can query your data, you can get the information out and quickly analyze that information and take your next level actions. The final thing, it gives you the ability to define your own output views, own dashboards, which helps you in quickly analyzing that information. End-to-end journey, one place for the user from your one place for the user where you can create your rules, get your information, take quick actions, and get the explanation from the system as well, that why this is happening, how this happens, and what's the implication of this. End-to-end process done through Kai, starting the rules to the creation of your dashboard. That's the 5 feature and one direction vision, or the process which we are working on from Kai improvements perspective. So pretty much the same lines. These are the areas which we are working on. Enrichment base is something which we have. Knowledge base, the upload process, and Q&A is something which we have in the system. The other areas which we are working on, insight page and policy generator. These are the new features which would be coming up in the system pretty soon. Yes, so this is basically the whole end-to-end journey from MDO Kai perspective. Open for any questions, or Hai, would you like to add more onto this?
Thanks, Akshay. Thanks for that. Yeah, well, at this point, I would love to answer a couple of questions here. Let me just have a look. Right. So Deepak has a question. Does document-based enrichment require some sample document to get AI trained on that? Or can we just upload any document and we'll start executing the data? Hold on, let me read the rest of it. From that data immediately without any prior training on the document. So there's probably 2 parts to that question. And Akshay, you can fill in if you want. But really, one of the strong things about our current platform is that we have context of your data already. We have the rules and the governance context as well. And of course, we know what you would like to enter in terms of retrieving from the document and basically fill the data in terms of what you want to govern, right? So in that part, you really need no configuration at all. It's plug and play. It's ready to go, right? So you have to enable it and then upload the document and it'll go through that. There is some minor learning and configuration to that. But then that would be more specific to your business requirements. Can you do it? Yes. The question is, do you want to do it? And is that actually required or not is a different question. So in some specific circumstances, we've implemented for a few of our customers, what they really, or the challenge that they sort of have with enrichment and that type of thing is sometimes there are a lot of acronyms or specific documents that you use on a regular day-to-day basis, but that's not immediately understood by the agent, right? So there is some fine-tuning involved there, but in most cases, you probably wouldn't need training, so to speak, rather than getting Kai to understand your specific circumstances with your specific configuration with some fine-tuning. But that is more tweaking rather than a whole learning process. The next question is whether user can access this at time of creating or changing record, right? So that would be both in both cases. So when we say enriching, the process of enrichment is you may have existing data which is not yet enriched. So that would be maybe a change process that you may want to implement. You enrich, validate it, govern it, then send it for integration or send it back to your source system. Right, so that would be your change process. But absolutely, at the time of creation, you might be uploading a PDF or a unstructured document, and then you might have some surrounding instructions for Kai on how to create that. So both is fully capable. If we can take a couple of more questions. Yeah. So actually, just maybe go through a little bit on how we can discuss on how Kai and especially the human in the loop process on this happens, because I think security is also a big theme around AI, especially with new AI models being released and of course access to data on the platform. How does Kai access it? And maybe we can expand that a little bit more, because that will be on the forefront of many of our users.
Yep, I agree on that point. So, like you have the in MDO as of the current process, even if we keep Kai aside, there are access given to the user that which data set they can work on, what process they can run on. So when a user is they are working with Kai, they are interacting with Kai. When they are putting a query or asking a question or giving a next step to be taken by Kai, Kai would analyze that the information or the permission is something which is available to the user. Like I might be asking for to run a change process for material master, but I'm someone who just has the access for some other master for function location. So in that case, Kai would respond back with you giving you the information that you do not have access for this particular process. Please connect with your administrator to get the required access and work on these processes. So yes, Kai would be running. One is having Kai has the full knowledge of your system. That's one part. And since it is all configured on your tenant level, so Kai can quickly analyze that do you have the right access to take this action or not. If yes, it goes forward. If not, then it responds back to in the same way.
And that's basically
And
controlled by our roles and permission system. So in a sense, it's actually not just controlling access to the data, but right down to the row level or the the column or the field level, because that's actually configurable out of our roles and access. So that means that if you did not give a user access to a particular column or a particular a particular field or a particular record,
Process.
that user or Kai also won't get access to that. So whatever the user, so that's again built out of the backbone of our governance system, right? Whether that's a particular step that you have access to, or a particular governance step, I should say, or a rule, or a configuration, or a record, or any piece of data. If you as a person have access to it, only then Kai will have access to it. If you as a user do not have access to it, then Kai also won't. So it's not like it's a free
Yeah.
for all. So we're very strict on that.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
Kai is your help an agent to help you work with your accesses, not go beyond those.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, thanks for that, Akshay. The walkthrough was great, and we're really interested to hear your feedback, especially from the walkthrough or the features that we're going to be introducing and bringing onto the platform. We'd like to hear about how you would like to use Kai, what other things you might want to be incorporated into the product. And really, any feedback will always welcome. Or, in fact, if you have any questions, please contact our team. We'll reconnect with you and be able to either expand more or take the feedback and perhaps incorporate it in a product. And that's our process of making the platform improve over time. So thank you very much for joining today. We look forward to seeing you next time. And yeah, please reach out to our team with any questions or anything else that picks up your interest. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.